here again with All Over Politics. And today I want to tell you about the biggest lies that people are talking about today in government. I'm not just talking about the president, I'm talking about the entire administration. I don't care if you're on the right, I don't care if you're on the left, you are being lied to by both parties every day about what? About the recession. Everybody wants to talk about the fact that we are in a recovery, or we are beginning a recovery. As a matter of fact, our president has already called this the recovery summer. So, are we recovering at all? Some people are talking about the concept of a double dip recession. Well, when did the recession actually stop going down? Has anybody at your household level or anybody in small business actually realized any relief whatsoever? Absolutely not. Since 2008, we have continued declining jobs. We have continued GDP lies that are meant to fool you into believing a farce of the economy's good, the government's doing well, and they're doing everything they need to do to bring everything back. It's all garbage. If we take a look today, the government will tell you that we have a 9.5% unemployment rate. If you believe that we have a 9.5% unemployment rate, I have huge tracts of land in Florida that you can buy today for no money on the dollar. Swear to God. The reality is we're running around 22% unemployment rate. If you take a look at a free market measure of unemployment, that's what it says, 22%. Now, what's a free market measure? It's the way that me or you would actually talk about unemployment. It means there's a guy or a girl on the street who can work, who wants to work, who can't find a job. It is not some jerry-rigged number that is made up by our federal government so that we feel good about our unemployment rate being below 10%, because that's not the case. It's not even close. Even the government will admit to you that 16% of the people out on the workforce are no longer actively looking for jobs. How can you have 16% of the people not actually looking for jobs and only an unemployment rate of 9.5%? These numbers don't add up. Everything the government tells us is not adding up, because you know why? They want you to re-elect them. So, what do they use to tell us that our government is coming back? Well, everybody points to the GDP consistently. What's the GDP say? The GDP will tell us whether or not the economy is coming back or not. Well, we have revised figures just in the last couple of weeks. Originally, this year, we were promised by the administration that the 3.7% GDP growth that we experienced was just the beginning, and it would carry through the summer. But the numbers have now been revised in late July to a wonderful 2.4% GDP. Now, everybody out there is probably jumping up and down saying, hey, at least it's a positive number. That's great. It's not a positive number. The government doesn't tell you what the GDP is calculated by or on. The reality of the GDP number that we see today is that it has been jerry-rigged. The GDP doesn't take into account any concept of debt, and the GDP only measures money that is spent. So, let's think about this for a minute. GDP, if we think about it, used to mean we got something for some investment or worth pushed out into the economy. GDP used to mean, hey, a house was built, or somebody got services that allowed them to get an education. Now today, one of the great reasons why GDP continues to be somewhat positive is that we are spending money on things like bombs and the military. So let me ask you a question. When you spend $1 billion to make a bomb and then you blow it up, what do you have left? Shrapnel. Is the shrapnel worth anything? No. But you know what? The wonderful number, $1 billion, just got added to our GDP. Bravo, America. We got $1 billion more in spending. And the other thing that they don't want to tell you is the GDP, if it's below 3%, we're actually decreasing. Why? Because we need 3% year-over-year GDP to keep up with additions to our basic population in the workforce. If you're in college today, anything below GDP means that you're graduating and you're going home and you're sleeping on mom and dad's couch. But the government doesn't want to tell you this. They just want to be the hero. And you know what? They're not the hero. They're lying to you, they're lying to me, and every single individual in government needs to be voted out for those lies. We'll be back shortly with Bob Clark.